And we are live. Let me just check the stream notes, but we are live. I'm very excited to see who is going to be able to join us today. How did you put chat? Never miss a comment. There we go. Oh, nice. All right, we're just gonna let people join, but this will be the step-by-step guide into becoming a designer in tech. I know some people are very excited about this because they've actually never heard about designers in tech. What are they designing? Why are they designing it? But today we want to be showing you exactly that, how we actually work as designers in tech, what we actually do, and how to actually break into the industry today, because it's something that you can actually get started with now. You just have to learn the right stuff, learn the right principles, apply the principles, and you will actually have your tech job in a few months. So just gonna give the stream a few more seconds, like 30 seconds, and then we're gonna get started. I hope people can hear me actually. No. Yeah, I hope people can hear me better now because I just switched the audio. But yeah, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome everyone. So this is the step-by-step guide and step-by-step blueprints in becoming a designer in tech. So this will be the dummy's guide into UX UI. I'm going to show you what UX UI is, what people who do UX UI do essentially, how do they become a UX UI designer, and how you can become a UX UI designer, because at the end of this, we want to give you a special surprise that will help you get started. So let us begin. So as I said, today's presentation, I'm going to show you how you can become a tech designer with zero work experience, zero degree, and you don't even need to know how to code. So if you're a person that is struggling with a uni course that you don't really like, or you actually hate, and you have lectures that you can't stand because they're really boring, and you don't see yourself doing it long term, and you need a career switch, or you have a job that you hate in an industry you can't stand because, again, it's really boring. It doesn't allow you to necessarily express yourself creatively, and you just need that switch. But you can also see yourself as a designer, designing apps for big organizations, getting paid a lot of money to do so. Then you are in the right place. When my slides work, then you're in the right place. There we go. So if you've been struggling to get into tech for a while now because of your lack of experience or lack of qualifications, you're not alone. You may not know this, but you've been lied to about the tech industry, that you need to be a coding genius or have a degree to do well in it. But today I want to show you why that is false. I'm going to show you what you necessarily need to actually break into the tech industry. And the things that you need is to just understand what user-centered thinking is, to know how to ethically feel like an artist, and to have a planned out roadmap on how to begin. And as I said, this is what we will be giving you at the end, a planned out roadmap on how to actually start your journey today. So so today I'm here to show you how you can get into tech as a designer without need for work experience or writing a single line of code, and how I was able to get a job as a UX designer in my 20s without a degree, nor did I have work experience, which is what this webinar is about. So before I get into all of that, I just want to show you why this is possible. So these are three people that I currently work with in the current job I have. This is Tumsane, Tabiso, and Bonisiwe. And these are the people who prove that you don't need work experience in the same industry, that you don't need work experience in the same industry or a degree in the subjects that we're going to be teaching. So we'll start with just Dumisani. He was a security guard in Houghton before he joined in Bilotech, and now he's one of the best Baltimex designers in the continent. And being a Baltimex designer is a big accomplishment as a UX UI designer, and we'll go through that later. Then this is Tabiso. He is a UI designer and a project manager at Imbilotech. Yet Tabiso started a few years ago. And before Tabiso came to Bilotech, he worked at Seattle as a barista before being taken in and put in the same program that I was on, that I learned from at Imbilotech. Then this is Bonisiwe. She was a waitress at Proud Mary, a waitress. And I taught her how to design on Figma and on Voltimex, which is a platform we use at Imbilotech. And now she's on one of the biggest projects in the company after a year and a half of being with us. So today I want to share with you how I discovered that having work experience or having a coding background or a degree is not necessary to get into tech, and how I was able to do so and become a lead UX UI designer in a short period of time without the things that I mentioned. And this is what we will be going through. So these compose of three secrets that I will be sharing with you throughout this webinar. And the secrets are, the first one is human-centered thinking is your bread and butter as a UX designer. Then the second one is knowing how to ethically feel like an artist so you don't have to be creative. So this is a special hack I'll be showing you exclusively for this webinar. And the last one is your portfolio is where your money is at. So we'll be showing you how to actually put together a portfolio that recruiters are begging for. So before I get into the nitty-gritties of the details, I want to share with you, sorry, before I get into the nitty-gritty details of UHU, I want to share with you how I discovered this for myself. So the way I got into Bilotech, I was straight out of high school. I was the only one without a degree or work experience in the new graduate team. So Bilotech had a graduate team that they brought in, and out of all of them, they all had a coding background. They all studied IT or computer science, and I was the only one who had none of that. And some of them had work experience, but the only thing that made me stand out is because I took the time to learn the specific software that Bilotech was offering. And you don't have to worry about learning a software so that you also get specially picked. But I'll show you um, how I actually managed to get this internship, this graduate spot at Impilotech, and then how I upgraded from that to where I am now. So as I was part of the graduate program, I was put in the software development team because I knew the software, and I actually managed to train the grads on the actual software that Impilotech was using. And then But after a few broken projects by yours truly, of course, I'm not saying it's my fault, but I'm saying I was involved when the projects were breaking. I was then transferred into UX UI, not knowing how I would how I would adapt to this new position. Then at first I wasn't sure what to expect, but it turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me. Then when we fast forward today, I became and so when we fast forward today, I became a lead UX designer working with the incredible team, designing products that truly make a difference. And I don't have a degree and I don't have a formal education in the field, nor do I have work experience, which is something I want to emphasize. It's something that I was just thrown in the deep end in. I took the few months to actually learn it, and now I'm in a career position that I never thought I would be, but something that's made me very happy. And some of these sites that you're seeing is things that I've worked on, and many more, of course. So today I'm here to show you how you can also do that for yourself. So you don't need to code or have a tech degree, just this special hat. You don't need to waste your time with outdated methods if you want to get into tech. Instead, you can learn only a few key principles that will get you in the sorry, that will get you the best job in tech for beginners or people that are struggling out. With the old way, you'd spend years in school learning information that's probably behind the times, or you'd spend time learning how to code when you know that's not something you want to do. I'm here to show you an alternative where you don't have to learn how to code, but you can learn a different skill and work in the same industry, earning about the same amount of money as as your peers in the coding uh, field. So with this way, it's not really a problem because we have tools like Figma and Adobe XD where you can design apps and websites without having to know to code. This will you'll be able to actually design the app, you'll design the layouts, design all of that for the people who are gonna code it for you. And these days, companies usually care more about your problem solving skills and a portfolio rather than a degree. So you don't really have to worry about having that formal background or working experience. You just have to know how to problem solve and how to problem solve, and you have to have a portfolio that backs up the claims you have of whatever designs you've made so that the company can see that you're a competent person that they can actually work with. So if you ever manage to solve a problem in your life, then this career is for you. And of course, we want to show you how to actually get started building your portfolio. So I also wanted to show you a special trick that is used that I use to this day I use that I yeah sorry yes my English is running away today, and so today I wanted to show you a special trick that I use to this day that I've learned from top level designers that have helped me learn design super quickly, and I want to teach it to you today for free so that you leave this presentation with something you can actually use. And this special trick is called user-centered thinking. So I discovered that people think design is hard because they don't know the human that they are serving and what problem that this human is trying to solve. And with human-centered thinking, this fixes all of this because human centered thinking is essentially a design approach that focuses on the humans we are serving, also known as users. So it focuses on the users we are making an app or website for. We focus on their needs, we focus on their wants, and we focus on how they actually behave. These things will tell us necessarily how we can design a whole website that will make it attractive for the user to actually come use our platform. It's all about making the stuff, the app or the website super easy for someone to come use and super useful for them. And that's how we keep uh, people using our website and app. Imagine you had an app that that the buttons didn't work or everything was clustered, you didn't know where what was. How long would you keep using that app? Not for long, right? But if you had an app that was super simple, every time you click this button, that button, this button, it does exactly what you expect it to and even goes beyond that and satisfies your need. How long are you going to use that app? Probably forever, as long as it keeps satisfying that need and keeps solving that problem. So but how do we actually find information on the humans we are serving? So of course we need to find their needs, we need to find their wants and how they behave. We need to do that research. But how do we actually find that information about our users slash our humans that we are serving? So the approach most people would use to learn about the users is by running surveys and doing interviews with people that may not be the primary user or may not be the target user that they actually want to yeah actually need they target user that they actually want them to use their app. Usually when you run something like a survey, you would send it out to people and random people would fill out the survey and that wouldn't give you the necessary data that you need. But if you actually get the right people to answer your survey, so if we're making a app for people for a hotel, if we're making an app for a hotel and we send out our surveys to people at a football game, what are the chances that most of those people are going to be people who go to hotels? But if we make a hotel app and we send out a survey directly to people at the hotel and see what exactly would make the experience better, then would get better quality data. But doing this is kind of hard, and I want to show you a even easier way to do it. An even easier way to do it without actually leaving your room. Other people also run interviews, but again, you wouldn't be talking to the actual person because usually you get random interactions. But I'm going to show you how you can actually do this from home. So I just want to check the chat quickly. Hopefully, we have very energetic people in the chat, and I want to see who is who probably knows what it is. So we have Alan in the chat. Just big up UX designers. Hey, Joy, people, Joy Melsoft, you won't regret it. I'm a current student. Yeah, Alan is Alan is one of my students. Very appreciative of these kind words, and he's now giving away all the secrets because he actually knows what's in the program. But yeah, what is it? Let's see. Does anybody know what it is? Just type it in the chat. Right, great stuff. So this secret approach to actually getting the right quality data of our users is to actually step one, and I want you guys to actually note this down, is to go to Amazon and search out for the topic you're researching for. So we did an example on books on AI, and then we looked for the book that represents your topic the most. So this is the book that speaks to the problem you're trying to solve. So for us, books on AI, we're trying to see the age of AI and the human, how it would adapt with human consumption. And we wanted to make an app around that or a software around that that will help that will help people use and interact with AI better. So we chose this one, the age of AI and our human future. And then the key here is to look for ones that have a lot of reviews because this will give you the most amount of data to work with because there's a lot more people who've given that input. Then we want to go to the comment section and we want to start collecting our data. So what we want to do is the first thing, and I want you guys to note it down, is to actually start by the 5 stars, read what the people are saying about the book, see the things that they are pointing out, and all of that, and then note that. But you must also go back to the 1 star and see what people don't like, what people are complaining about, what is the exact thing is the exact thing that made someone actually give uh, the book or yeah the book a 1 star instead of a 5 or a 3 or a 2 or 4. That one thing that made them so angry that they had to give it a bad review. So as I'm saying, the reason we do this is that people come here to share their thoughts and feelings about the book slash topic. And you can use all the data that people are sharing to understand how they think. And then from there, if you have enough data and you see enough common points among people, so enough points that people make, you know that's the to categorize it in a positive light or a negative light. But if it's common, you know that a lot of people are dealing with the same issue. That means we can actually categorize it and make it for the people and make a solution for the people that would benefit them because a lot of the people that you found have been struggling with that one particular point. And when we have that, then we come to a new term that I want you guys to learn. Maybe it's going to be too difficult, but this is called a user persona. So a user persona is when we collect all the data and see everything that's common, so the common pain and the common positive that the users are sharing, then we craft this user persona that we're going to be designing an app for. So we make up someone who resembles all those pains, who resembles all those positives, and then we use that to think. We use that to actually make the website or application. So with this method, you can now see why you actually don't necessarily need to even go out to do surveys and interviews and all that hard work. You can just go to Amazon, understand what people are complaining about, understand what people are praising, whatever topic or industry you are in about, and then design a platform that serves those people the best way possible. So what I've given you is a way to find your user and a simple way to find their common problem that you can actually start designing for today. So once you find that common problem, think about how can I solve it in an easy way, and then you can start designing you can start being creative and designing something that will actually help these people. So if all of this makes sense, I'd like to see some yeses in the chat. I'm sure it makes so much sense that you guys are super excited. Great stuff, great stuff. I love it. Great stuff. So let us continue. So then we'll remember we're sharing the three secrets. This is the second secret that I want to share with you. So this secret is actually you don't need to be creative, you just need design thinking. So you don't need to be an artist or a creative genius to succeed in UX UI. You just need to know design thinking. And design thinking is a skill that anyone that can learn. So design thinking is basically a structured way to understand the user's needs, brainstorm solutions, and create designs that work. So the first one is to understand the user's needs, what we went through just now on the users that we serve. You show the needs, the wants, and how they behave. And then we brainstorm solutions. Of course, when we know about our user and we've done that research on Amazon, we brainstorm how we can provide simple solutions for the user that will benefit them. And then we create a design that will work for that user. So you see, it's nothing too complicated. I've already given you one third of the answers already. And brainstorming solution is your problem solving ability. So you already have that as well. So two-thirds of the answers are done. So right now you just need to learn how to create designs that will work for the user. So I've gotten this particular concern that sometimes you may feel like you're not creative. And I felt the same, especially since I only come from a coding background. I've only known coding. So when I came into UX UI, I didn't feel creative enough to actually be confident in designing. But today I want to show you, and based on what I've learned, that you don't actually need to be creative. You don't need to know how to draw. You don't need to know how to paint. This is really about problem solving, as we said. There are tools like brainstorming templates and apps that will help you do this easily. So there are ways that we can circumvent the problem solving elements, and then you just don't need to be creative. And another way to actually I'll show you another way to actually be creative without being creative, which is part of our second secret that we are going to come to in a moment. So secret number two is how to ethically feel like an artist. So this will be your solution or your antidote in even if you're not creative, if you can ethically feel like an artist, not illegally feel like one, but ethically. So the way to do this is to actually find a top player in your industry. So if your industry is cell phones, Apple or Samsung will be a top player, will be an example of a top player. If your industry is consulting, forgetting the name, but if your industry is diamonds, sorry, De Beers and things like that would be your top players. So you have to look at the top player and analyze why they have the user's attention. So you would check their website, see how the website is laid out, and see why they have why users keep coming back onto this side. If you are just one more example, if you are in the movie industry, Netflix would be a top player because it's a big company in the industry. So so step two is to actually go through each page of the website and screenshot it to observe the layout and the font. So you'd look at every page. So on Netflix, you'd look at the login page, you look at the page where it has all the movies, all the recommendations, and then you'd screenshot the login page, you'd screenshot the that recommendation page or dashboard page, and you also click inside the movie and screenshot. Just take every screen you land on, you screenshot just to grab their stuff and see what they are doing. And then we will use a specific plugin. So this plugin is called Screenshot to Design. It's a Figma plugin. So if you go to Google and type Figma, Figma, this is a this you type in Figma. It's a software that you can use to design apps, and then you can go into Figma, just paste all those images onto a Figma board, and then get this plugin Screenshot to Design. You just have to type it out, and then this plugin will allow you to edit screenshots with content, with your content logos and colors, etc. So then you just put it all together, put your own spin on it by changing colors. You can change the text colors. You can change the images that they use. You can change the layout that they're doing because Screenshot to Design allows you to actually edit the images that you put onto Figma so you can move around the elements. Then from there, now you will have an app design, your first app design that works. Imagine that. So now today, literally today, you can just find the top layer or find a website that you love to look at, put it onto Figma, Figma.com, open the templates, put those screenshots there, use the plugin, and then you can actually start moving around all the templates, change the color, change the text, put this here, put this there, and then by the end of it, you'll actually have your first app design. How cool is it? So, and you see, it is very easy. So, what this means is that you can become a UX UI designer in tech, and you don't have to be naturally creative. And you can actually become a UX UI designer right now if you actually go to Figma and do what I just laid out for you right now. If you need to, if you missed it, just watch the rerun of this webinar, and you will be, everything will be good. Then, if all of this makes sense, I'm gonna check in the chat real quick if any of this, if there's any concerns, but I know this makes sense. So just type makes sense in the chat if this is awesome so far. Makes sense, makes sense. Great stuff. Love it. Love it. So now I know what you're thinking. You're probably wondering, what if I don't have any experience or any projects to show currently, and I want to be a UX designer? I want to actually start looking for UX roles that I can do. Well, that brings me to the next secret. So, to now, I'm going to help you build a standard portfolio that speaks louder than a resume. And I'm gonna help you make one right now. So, when you apply for your first UX job, your portfolio is one thing recruiters care about. They don't ask about your education. They don't ask about your work experience background. They want to see, all they want is to see how necessarily you solve problems and if the way you do it and the way you design for them will work for their company. So we're going to help you. Currently, now we're going to help you build that standard portfolio that will speak for you. As soon as the recruiter sees it, they want to bring you in for an interview immediately because the portfolio is so good, they have to have you. So the best way to start with this is to start by volunteering to volunteering to nonprofit organizations. So using the skills that we currently previously taught you, human-centered thinking and stealing like an artist, you will find a nonprofit organization of your choice. You will create a simple and a beautiful website for them. Not a fully functional website, but a layout of what the website will be. Then use platforms like Wix to actually So you can use platforms like Wix, where it's an actual website builder that builds actual functioning website that you can publish today. You can use Figma. You can go to Figma and import whatever you designed on Figma. So this is the design I told you, the simple and beautiful design for the NGO. You can take it from Figma and just import it onto Wix, and you don't have to code, you don't have to do anything else. It will import it as it is on Figma, and it will make everything you put on Figma functional so that it's a ready it's so that it's a fully functioning website by the time you're done importing it onto Wix. So whatever buttons you put on, whatever element you put on Figma, it'll serve as a template for Wix, and Wix will do its magic and make all and read all the elements from the template and see what is a button, and see what is an image, and see what is a text, and all of that. They'll put it together into an actual web page that you can actually publish today. So you can try that. Then a crucial step to this is to actually document the process by screenshotting each stage of the design, and then also document why you made the certain decision in each page that you've designed, why you chose this particular color over that one, why you use this font, why you use this image, simple stuff like that, just to show that you are aware of the stuff that you are doing for your project. This will also show the recruiters that you have the ability to actually think about the things that you are putting in the website, actually document it and put it in a way that's so reasonable that they understand why you did what you did. And this will make it easier for them to understand what type of person you are and if you'd work well with the people in the company. Then, so now, if you do that perfectly, this would mean that you can actually start headhunting for your dream UX UI job without needing years of experience in working or a degree in tech or knowing how to code. And if you take action of on what I've shared with you, and you do it well, you will do well into breaking into tech as a designer. You'll actually find the roles because currently UX UI design jobs are actually in high demand, but there's not enough people to fulfill that skill. Firstly, because there are not a lot of people who even know what UX UI design is, yet it's so essential to the website and application building process. Then secondly, a lot of people don't have the skill of UX UI design. They just put things here and there and say it doesn't really matter. But this is the reason a lot of websites are not performing well on Google. So if this all makes sense to you so far and we are killing it, type yes in the chat. We love to see it. Great stuff. Ah, I love it. So okay. So let's do a quick recap of what we learned. First, I showed you what user-centered thinking is or human-centered thinking is and how to basically do research like a UX designer, get in the mind of the user, know what they need, what they want, and how they behave, and understand the problem through reading comments on a relevant topic and use that as your structure to start designing. Then I showed you how to ethically feel like an artist from people who already have stuff that is working. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Other people have the audience that you want. They already designed it in a way that resonates with the audience. All you have to do is go in and analyze and look at and screenshot and go in screenshots and analyze what they are doing and do it with your own twist so that you can get similar responses. Then the last thing I showed you is building a portfolio that speaks out for itself. So building a portfolio that speaks for itself. So I showed you currently how to actually start building your portfolio. You see, if you actually go to these nonprofits and build simple websites for them, first of all, you would actually start building the portfolio. You'd have projects that you can show because you've actually went and did it for someone. But also if you give these projects to the actual nonprofits and they like the website or application that you designed for them, these are the people who are going to help you connect with other business owners, connect with other investors that may need your skills as a UX UI designer for whatever project they are starting or they are currently working at. So this will actually help you network yourself into a job in UX UI because you simply helped a nonprofit, and it also makes you feel good in the heart helping people who are helping people. So not only does this not only does this help you get projects that you can start showing off and you can use to send to recruiters where you want to work, this will also help you be recognized by actual leaders in the industry because a lot of nonprofits are connected to actual for-profit companies. And if they recommend your service to a for-profit companies, that way you can actually get hired by actual um, company, not only even in South Africa, but in other places as well, depending on how connected these people are. This will help you massively expand your network and it will grow you as a person because now you will be in a role that you've never actually thought you would actually be in. So to close this off, I just want to ask a little question that you guys may not be expecting. So if you started taking action now to learn UX UI design, if everything is shared with you, if everything is shared with you even sparks a 1% interest in you, thinking, maybe this is something I could do, we'd like to offer you um, we'd like to offer to help you. But this is also something you can learn for yourself. Usually, if you want to learn it for yourself, it will take 4 to 6 months to learn. So, would you rather spend those months trying to figure this out alone or have someone who's already done it, who's already been there, who is there and knows what the market is looking like, guide you step by step and take the time to get you your first internship? If you prefer to go at it alone, type one. And if you prefer to get the help, type two in the chat. I just want to see briefly, not going to look at it too much. Two, nice. Great stuff. So a lot of you prefer to have the help. So what I want to share with you currently, we're going to have student testimonials, but um, our people were not available today. But great, we had a little testimonial by Ellen at the beginning. Let me see what is it. Maybe I can find this comment quickly. Yeah, Phila, UXI is a design. UXI design is a joy. People join Melsoft. You won't regret it. I'm a current student. That is uh, what uh, Ellen has shared. So we currently have a live seminar for 100 people that are serious about transforming into a career in tech. People who actually want to get into UX/UI design because they can see that code is not necessarily for them. Um, they can feel that they want to be in tech, they want to be in such a big industry, but doing cybersecurity, doing code, doing software development, doing testing, and all of those roles are not for them. They are more creative. These are the people who are these are the people who should actually attend our live seminar that we're going to be doing. It's called the UX UI Accelerator Challenge. So we are going to be looking at all the details that I just shared with you from user-centered thinking. We're going to be looking at stealing like an artist ethically and making it transform you into a UX UI designer in a period of 1 to 2 months. And also um, building actual really cool portfolio, and give you portfolio ideas, project ideas that you can start using currently to 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 start building a portfolio that recruiters are actually actively looking to find. So there's a specific set of there's a specific set of what do they call it? There's a specific set of projects that recruiters are looking for, and we have the list of the actual um, projects that they're looking for, and we'll give you that list only if you join the seminar. So this is for those people who want to expand and learn more in UX UI, actually become a UX UI designer in the next 3, 4 months. Rather than learning it alone, they get the step-by-step guidance, they get all of that. And in the next webinar, I'll be sharing with you all the student testimonials. They'll be coming here and speaking for themselves and sharing with you actually uh, doing. And we have some people, we have a 40-year-old actually called Carol. She actually has a full-time job and has kids, but he still manages to go through the program because he's so tired of his career. He wants to switch to UX/UI. So if that's you, join the Accelerator Challenge. And yeah, that is our boot camp. This was the web yeah, English is running away. This was the webinar today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending. If you already take the next, if you really take action and start learning UX/UI, you can go down below, and then you can go down below. There's probably a link to actually join the program with Melsoft, and you're going to actually be with me, be with the other community of UX designers, and we're going to start building beautiful projects from today. So thank you everyone for joining. This has been an absolute joy sharing. I'm happy more and more people, let's just stop sharing there. I'm happy that more and more people are actually joining this career. They're actually doing amazing things, and they actually work in such, look at this, in such amazing places. Look at the building. This building is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, this has been super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned. And yeah, that is the webinar for today.